Corey Powell, we meet again. You know, I like to figure out what each writer's strengths and weaknesses are. And so far, Corey Powell has completely eluded me. Her episodes star different characters, have different quirks, and they go for different aims. And they have different sets of quality altogether. Seriously, the only thing that this episode has in common with any other Corey Powell episode is that it stars Spike and Owlicious. But that may be because Megan McCarthy helped write this episode for reasons. It feels very much like a Megan McCarthy episode, with a well-written Spike and a character's mental breakdown. Yes, this is the Rarity version of Lesson 0 and Party of One. It starts with yet another festival.
Just because the attendees are young doesn't mean they don't deserve my very best creative work.
This episode has my undying loyalty. Anyway, Rarity is designing a stage for a puppet master and spending time with Spike. Sure, why not? For putting form over function, Rarity disappoints her contractor, and that drags her into a depression. Spike tries to cheer her up, and goes to the library of the Castle of the Two Sisters.
It's not who, it's what.
That joke's not funny. It was never funny. Stop trying to make it funny. So, Spike accidentally pulls a book that unlocks a secret passage. Here, it's kind of more believable than too many Pinkie Pies, if just as coincidental. You know, because he actually lives in that library. He's only been in here, like, once. Maybe. Spike comes across a book that screams evil, and once again, I'm going to have to give the points right now for the comedy of this episode. Because this episode is a pretty funny one. But only 2 points because it isn't one of the funniest of the season. And you know, the fucking owl. You dipshit. Spike brings Rarity the book that has a rather interesting spell. Apparently, it causes a lime green swirl to absorb into Rarity's horn.
And as we all know, everything lime green is evil. No, seriously, everything lime green is evil.
Oh no. The spell pretty much turns Rarity into a god, with powers almost on the level of Discord. I can kinda see why it was kept hidden like that. It also gives her an absorbent amount of inspiration. She instantly creates a new theater for the puppeteer. However, it seems that she wants to keep the spellbook a secret. And she also wants to keep the spellbook for a little bit longer. Spike lets her do so. The next day, we learn that Rarity has been up all night creating. She also decides that she wants to spread her creativity all throughout Ponyville, and that requires keeping the book just a little bit longer. She begins changing things in Ponyville that starts out rather benign.
Everyone loves surprises, especially when they're gorgeous ones.
Ah! Sounds way too much like Wisteria. Sounds way too much like Wisteria. Moving on. Rarity also convinces Spike not to tell anyone about the book. Then she puts Rainbow in a dress. That could kinda work as a prank, I guess. Actually, that would be really funny. And she gives Fluttershy's bird a huge mansion that gets him lost. There still seems to be the same problem where form precedes function, and Spike keeps telling her what she wants to hear. All the while, the owl is pelting him with acorns, trying to remind him what he has to do. Next, Rarity changes up the festival to one of a fancy party. And yes, that's a very funny joke. Sometimes all you need is a reaction. Oh, and Rarity has become very, very scary, and gives Spike some diamond armor. Why he doesn't eat it, I have no idea. All of a sudden, Twilight comes by.
This? I just wanted to try out a new look.
Yeah, who cares as long as it keeps the creepers away. Unfortunately, Twilight's presence doesn't really culminate into anything in this episode, and like many Season 1 episodes, she could be written out entirely and the episode would actually be kinda better. You realize that capital cities like Washington, D.C. and London have mayors too, right? The royalty takes care of the country while the mayor takes care of the town. Also, this kinda bugs me. Why can Spike sometimes understand Owlicious but sometimes can't? Oh yeah, because someone somewhere thinks that Who joke is funny. It's not. It never was. So Spike plans to get rid of the spellbook to avoid telling Rarity that she's causing harm. And it's incredibly easy to find her because she's turned Ponyville into El Dorado.
What do you think you're doing?
Megan really likes The Lord of the Rings, doesn't she? Spike steals the book and eats it. Well, that's one solution, I suppose. I wonder how evil magic tastes. Rarity wants to take the rest of her creative vision all around Equestria, and it seems that she still has her powers without the book.
I need my book, Spike! What have you done with my book?
Can you wait about 10 hours? And Rarity realizes that she doesn't need the book anymore.
You'll be by my side, just as you've always been here in Ponyville. Your constant praise and adoration.
Yes, sometimes it's a good thing to criticize people when they're doing something harmful. Can you please stop scaring me now? Spike finally stands out to Rarity, and that gets rid of the ecto-glowy stuff to join Flutterbad and the Pony of Shadows. I don't know, playing poker or something.
Though by the looks of it, something quite terrifying has happened to Ponyville.
Streets of Gold are terrifying? Sure, maybe after the dragon attack. Now, my main and really only problem with this episode is that the ending is kind of ham-handed. First of all, they repeat the moral multiple times. There's more of this redundant dialogue. Hey, wait, that's a pattern. I could be onto something here. And there's one more problem with the moral. Please don't make jokes around or with your morals. That's just begging for your message to get confused. It's better to tell the truth, sure, but don't go around telling people that they're ugly or whatever. Other than that, this is probably the best Spike episode we've had so far. Not that there is much competition. Well, there is, but you'll have to join me in the next review for that. Oh yeah. I suppose the only disappointment here is that I still don't know anything about Corey Powell as a writer. Maybe I'll have to check out her previous oeuvre of work, although that doesn't always have very insightful information. I'd like to say how Corey Powell can improve, but I don't really know the problem, if there even is a problem. I will say that I prefer Party of One and Lesson Zero more, because they had more comedy, although the transition to madness here was far more realistic. Take with that what you will.